Orale! Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFB podcast. This is your host, Jorge Martin Familia. We're here to do a little special show, a little snippet. But first, please make sure when you go to Familia FFB on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. Little thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Also, want to make sure when you go to underdogfantasy.com, play best ball. I'm going to get you your first $100. I'm going to match you your first $100 when you use the promo code Familia23, Familia 23. If you do it in Spanish, you're going to keep drafting. There's best ball tournaments from $3 all the way, just big denominations. You can play Best Ball Mania 2. There's already been one puppy. There's going to be more coming. Make sure you use Familia 23 when you get that promo code. Right now, I wanted to do a little extra snippet, a little bonus coverage from the show that we had with Andrew Cooper. Enjoy. Salud. So I came up with this. I kind of want to spitball this because I just kind of came up with this since the schedule came out. This Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins combo quarterback strategy.
Oh, I love it, dude.
So it was one of the things that I looked at, and I remembered how great these guys were at home. And so I kind of, before the schedule came out, I thought, what if Jared Goff, what if I could have a game, just draft both of them and just start them when they're home? So I looked at the schedule in the weeks 1 to 17. The two of them are both away or one is away and on a bye, and playing outdoors twice. They're just 2 times, and those games are done early. They don't have to play in weather. So you just flip flop the two of them, and then it's week 4 where you got Detroit at Green Bay, and we talked about that game already, and Minnesota at Carolina. That's when you have to make the choice. And then in week 6, so you're still in decent weather. Minnesota at Chicago is a pick for you. Everything else, you're looking at the possibility. Now, I looked at the stats. When Jared Goff was home, he averaged 21.6 fantasy points. That would have made him number 5 quarterback over the full season. So, and he only scored under 16.5 points once the whole season. He had 4 of 5 300-yard games were at home. And then he had multiple TDs in 8 of 9 home games. So, you look at that. And then you go to Kirk Cousins. He threw 18 touchdown passes. Oh, by the way, Jared Goff, his numbers, he threw 23 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. If you put if you average out his numbers, what he threw for over almost 2,500 yards at home. If you average out his numbers over a 17-game schedule, 4,669 yards and 43 touchdowns. If he played all those games at home. So, and then you got Cousins, who threw 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions at home. He would have had 34 touchdowns, 4,535 yards. So you've got a quarterback who's going to throw 45 touchdowns and anywhere from 34 to 43 touchdowns in 15 out of 17 weeks. If you're drafting these two guys, Kirk Cousins, I mentioned that he had one clunker game. It was the Dallas game where the Cowboys just thrashed them 40-3. But he averaged 20 fantasy points per game, which would have made him the QB7. So if you're drafting these guys late, you're grabbing Cousins at like number 99. You're grabbing, and this is in underdog. You're grabbing Jared Goff at number 121. The next one I'm going to try and grab it, especially if I get Justin Jefferson at the beginning, or if I could get Amon-Ra St. Brown in the second round. I'm gonna try this strategy.
Wait, this is genius, brother. This is next level stuff. I'm liking this a lot, dude, especially on underdog, because underdog is 6-point passing touchdowns. It's not even 4. So these guys are much more valuable in that format than they are in like the 4.1. But man, that matches up. The only question now is what we name this strategy, because it needs a name. It's too good. How about like Hermanos? The brothers, right?
exactly. Hermanos strategy. Hermanos Goff Cousins.
I love that. The Jorge's Hermanos. Dude, I'll drop that all the time. I tell you right now, I'm gonna say Jorge Martin, the Jorge's Hermanos strategy, drafting Goff and Cousins, dude, beautiful. Because the home and home matchups, man, that is awesome, bro.
Oh man, and
stamp it.
In week 16 they play each other. They play each
Can't
other. So
lose.
you got them in the playoffs. You flip a coin who you're going to start, and it's going to be it's going to be a shootout.
Right. And in best ball, you just get whoever's better. Like whoever, like somebody has to win, right? That's not going to be. I would be shocked if that was a game where both teams are running the football, right? So like, beautiful, man. That's what made you think of that?
You know what? I remembered how they were both so good at home and so decidedly better at home than on the road. And I just remembered that, how, when I did my beat writer series, the Minnesota writer was telling me how, different Cousins was when he was on the road, and especially when it was really, really cold, because I was targeting that week 17 game in Green Bay. And then me being a Ram fan, I remember Goff, whenever he got into cold weather, it was a different game for him. So then I thought, you know what, keep him in pristine conditions. And even a couple of the times, one of the games, one of the teams is at the Raiders. So, the Raiders, that's going to be one of the options, but it's at the Raiders. The Raiders secondary is rebuilding. So you're going to take your chances on that one. So that game will probably shoot out. I think it's Minnesota at the Raiders. So yeah, that's why I was just kind of like, you know what, let's take the chances on getting them. And plus it's kind of like, I know I've been promoting elite quarterback strategy, which is kind of like my elite quarterback kind of ends at Trevor Lawrence, but this is the alternate if you want to try something different, and then just load up your team in the first 9 rounds.
Right. Because my strategy, I used to do something similar with tight end, where I would to how I do tight end, where I would just draft a safe guy, and then I would take whatever mobile guy you get for cheap. Right. Like last year we were doing Tua, Fields, but that's over now. Like everyone's figured it out. So Anthony Richardson just goes too early now. Like you can't sit back and take Cousins and Anthony Richardson. Like you can't go that route. So you got to come up with crazy new strategies, dude, like Hermanos here. So
oh man,
I'm loving that, dude.
Yeah, and actually Cousins in Spanish is primos. So I mean, maybe there's.
I was thinking about that at first, but then like it could get confusing to say primos, the Cousins primos strategy. It kind of leaves Goff out a little bit, right? Yeah, that's why the primos Hermanos.